Chase, obviously, you think about last year in this tournament to be able to come out and be able to play the way you have must feel really good to sort of get into that group right away.
Yeah, no, for sure. Right from the start, I think even leading up into the practices, it's like you could tell that we have a pretty good team, and even just how we passed the puck around, it seemed like we were clicking together. And starts off in the first period, and for us to go up and get a lead like that pretty early is nice, and we did a good job maintaining.
I got to say that's probably one of the more impressive things watching you guys. You had a practice yesterday. You're all a bunch of new. Some of you have played together, but a lot of guys who haven't. Just the way you were able to connect. Is that also about just that mentality of compete, and then the rest kind of plays itself out?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the management in Jersey talk about three things, and it's compete, commitment, and competitiveness. I guess those two are the same, but a lot of it's the connection. Sorry, that's the third one. And you know what? I think we took a look in the mirror and going into the camp, and we figured out that the best way to play defense is offense. So we figured if we can score a lot of goals and have the puck a lot of the game, it makes the game a lot easier for us, and that's what we did tonight.
And just your progression over the last couple of years, where do you see the biggest jump that you've taken? Because I'm sure that like when you start a tournament like this, it's all that pent-up energy from the summer, getting in that competitive mode. What was that like just that first game?
It's my third or fourth,
good. Obviously, like first period, everybody's just going.
I feel a little bit older, but it's funny when you look at the stat sheet, and there's still guys that are quite a bit older than me here still. So, but it's fun, and the way that I look at it, it's my third camp, so you get more confidence, and I don't like to think that I'm a nervous kid, but I definitely have a little. Such a short time period for everybody coming in.
And our team did what we wanted to do in that first game.
I was going to say, what is it like playing with Xavier, and just the way it really looked like you guys had that sort of sixth sense of where you were going to be?
Yeah, he's a good player. It's hard to give good players like him bad passes and stuff like that too. So, we had pretty good chemistry in a group of guys that just doesn't really know each other that well. But I think the guys did a good job of getting pucks in behind. Like our coaching staff gave us a guideline, and they just said at the end of the day, play simple. Good players, good plays, and we made the best of what we had there.
Obviously, in a short tournament like this, and with just one practice, was it a little bit surprising of how well connected you guys felt as a team, and it really didn't look like anybody was out of place or didn't know where other people were?
Yeah, a little bit. Kind of catches you off guard there, but I think just playing and I guess everybody, what page everybody's on when you just play simple, when you just make the smart plays and short passes, and I think everybody did a really good job of doing that, and just making the play when it was there, not trying to force anything or up and down the lineup. Everybody played well, so it was a good start to the tournament, and look to build off that too.
And for you, what do you think the biggest thing? Obviously with your points tonight and your goals is one thing, but in a tournament like this, you want to be able to stand out above other people just because that's what the goal is. What does that take for you to do, you think?
I think it's just, playing with energy, having good stick and good stick details too. I think a big part, disrupting pucks, and, for me, my style, may not go out there and lay guys out every shift, but, I'm still able to get bumps in and be in the right position and make good plays. Think with my head and just be ahead of the play and, be in the right spot, and when it's time to capitalize too. So, yeah.
Xavier, just to come out like this the way you guys did, one practice, a lot of different guys playing together, what did that tell you about what the mentality is from this group coming into a short tournament, the way you all were so connected to each other?
I think with the Devils, I think they always play hard. That's what we want to have a good start. That's the way they play. They compete hard. We start really hard too, so I think we started with a lot of shots. That's what we wanted to. I think we had more than 15 shots for period maybe, but I think we had a really good start and it helped us along the way.
How much is that also about Kevin Dineen and what he really preaches is that, work ethic is probably one of the most important things. I'm sure you'd agree. How much was that sort of allowing you guys to be as successful as you were?
Yeah, I think, like you said, he's a guy that loves a guy that works hard. I think being able to camp too, Sheldon Keefe said that's something he loves too. So I think everyone did that tonight. I think we showed every shift. We had a really good game. They're a good 60 minutes, so I think it's really good, and we have to do that tomorrow too.
On that Squires goal, did you hear him call out for that puck, for that pass?
Yeah, I saw him before, but I heard him too, so I know he's a good shooter, so I think it was a good idea to pass it to him. Yeah.
And what was it like sort of being able to connect the two of you connected quite a bit tonight?
Yeah, I know. I played against him when I was a junior. It was maybe 16, 17. I was 20, but I know he was a really good player. I saw him at Dev Camp last year, rookie camp. And honestly, he's a really, really good this year. I know he had a strong year last year, and he's way better, and he's a better player now. he's a really good person too. So it's nice to play with him on power play. Yeah.
For you, obviously, you and Chase are wearing letters on your jerseys. What does that mean to you, especially where you are right now in your career, and what this organization has given to you in terms of the opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, they gave me my first chance in pro hockey, so I think it's nice to have a and show to young guys that even if you're not drafted or something, you can get invited, sign contract, and after. It's not everyone has the same path, so I think I have to show. That's something Dino always told me, to show everyone that I compete hard. I'm a hard worker player. I can make plays and everything. But Stilly too, he's a good guy. He's a guy that talks a lot, and he's really funny. So it's really nice to play with him last year, and he's an easy guy to play with too. So it's nice.
How important has Kevin Dineen been to your development and who you're becoming as a hockey player, as a pro?
Last year, he just told me beginning of the year to not be scared to make plays, and I think it, like right at the start, I think it was really grateful for me, like good for me, because like pro hockey, it's hard sometimes. You're maybe scared to do plays, but I think he's a guy that really loves that. If you compete hard and make plays, he's gonna make you play, and you have a lot of trust on his players. So he's really easy to talk with every morning. Says hi, have a little chat, show videos. So it's really nice to have this coach like that.
That's cool. Dino, obviously one of the things that you preach as a coach that I think you could see right from the get-go was that work ethic, and you're going to go to work no matter what. Did you like what you saw right from the head?
Yeah, we did. I think right off the bat, I think, you know what, Sheldon spoke to the players before we got here, and I know I've already mentioned that, but I think that had a pretty big impact on our guys, that there's going to be a lot of eyes on them here. And it was a pretty direct message, and when you get that, I think you take it to heart, and they went out, and they certainly showed that tonight.
Goals aside, I mean, it really looked like, even though you've only had one practice with this full group, that everyone was quite connected and kind of looked like there was a sixth sense that everyone knew where everyone was going to be. Was that impressive to you?
It was. I loved our practice yesterday. You know, we only had one time on the ice together, but we wanted to play with pace, but I like the word you use, connected, because I felt like when plays were being made that there was availability for the puck carrier, and it wasn't just one option. So, nights like tonight when things start rolling your way, obviously got a little out of hand with a 9-goal difference, which may not be the most satisfying win, but we just felt like our guys had a real good showing.
But is that sometimes quite impressive when you have a group that comes together within 24 hours and that does happen? Like,
it does, yeah. You take a little time and try to decide who your leadership group is, and Xavier Parent and Chase Stillman are wearing A's, and we look at even Isaac Bolter. We're not going to put a letter on a goalie, but felt like our leadership group did a good job and made sure that they're a little lack of preparation, but they certainly didn't show that.
You bring up Chase there. I just want to talk a little bit about the way you've seen his game grow. You had him last year. It looks to me like his level of confidence and what his game needs to be has reached a whole new level.
I think so. I think it's I'm always a believer that there's maturity that happens on the ice, off the ice, that you just understand what your real goal is. I think everything's new the first year in pro, and you're going to your first camp, and a lot of action's happening, and I think now he's settled in, and I think there's a level of desire to make an impression, and he knows that it's an uphill battle right now to establish himself as a full-time NHL player, but he's certainly trending in the right direction.
You talk about wanting to establish yourself. When you look at a tournament like this, when you look at a rookie camp before the main guys come in, what do players right now need to do to stand out so that when the NHL players do join into the fold, that you're on a radar, so to speak?
Right. Well, I do, and I look at the Devils organization and where we are, and as far as maturity with this group of players as an organization, and where the openings are with players that can add a certain dynamic to this team, and the understanding is that here at rookie camp, we're not just looking at the score sheet at the end of the night and see who is the leading point getter and saying, oh, that's a top player. There's those intangibles that come into the game that's going to make a difference and give those players an opportunity to get exhibition games in real camp, to have the opportunity to maybe go to Prague, to maybe start in Utica, and then as the season progresses, get that opportunity to come up. So, we're seeing a lot of good positives in that direction.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask about Cam and the way he played, Cam Squires. What did you like?
I think he's just a hockey guy. He just got a real knack with the puck on his stick. But there was the back check, the being responsive, being on the right side of the puck. There was a lot of real positives. We're really excited about him as a hockey player.
Seeing Seamus and just the way he's, what are your first impressions of the way he's playing?
Well, my first impressions of Seamus was that from development camp,
yeah.
And in all honesty, I thought he was just okay in development camp, and came in here, had a great practice yesterday. And his level of composure with the puck and his panic point is really long, and I thought he had a great showing. I thought it was a great game one for him, and bodes very well for his upcoming first professional season.
I was going to say, I think, obviously it's something I'd have to ask him, but what do you think goes through your mind as, a first year in this type of tournament? You're turning pro, you're kind of on the smaller side, even though you do have the skill and the skating to bat. Do you think that can be overwhelming for?
I think, the size thing, you look at a lot of defensemen, Faber would come to mind in the NHL that are real dynamic players. I think he has a level of confidence, and I think there's also a lot of unknowns too. You haven't actually played it. You've watched the game, but, how do I compare against those guys? So tonight is a night where he gets to compare himself against like-minded players, first-year players. Regular training camp's coming around. Now he's going to get a real crack at it, but boy, he's off to a great start tonight.
Thanks, Kevin.
Okay.